My name is Richard Hall. I'm the executive producer and writer of The 600, The Soldier's Story.
In April 1994, one of the worst genocides in history began in Rwanda.
The streets were bloody. There were blood everywhere. And people were screaming.
Hundreds of thousands of ethnic minority Tutsi and moderate Hutu were slaughtered by their Hutu countrymen in a sweeping, pre-planned wave of murders.
It focuses on a small battalion of Tutsi opposition soldiers who were trapped behind enemy lines when the genocide broke out in the capital city. This group of 600 soldiers in a battalion managed to launch counterattacks and rescue civilians, all the while being under attack themselves by the forces that were carrying out the genocide.
Nubwo twari tukibasha kuvuga duhumeka, ariko mu mutima deja twari twamaze gupfa.
When the violence began, a small band of opposition soldiers stationed in the capital city of Kigali for peace talks found themselves suddenly trapped in hostile territory.
I was inspired to do this movie because, well, in a sense, it's a story of my wife's family. She had family in the Rwandan Patriotic Army, which is the opposition army that stopped the genocide. And she herself is a survivor and someone who was more or less rescued by members of the RPA, including her family members.
There is an all-out war against us, aimed at completely surrounding and annihilating our force.
Vastly outnumbered and under attack from all sides, these 600 soldiers were many Tutsis' only hope for survival.
You must stop this genocide. The only way to do it is to pick more courage and fight on.
The greatest challenge in making this film was finding people who come forward and talk, especially the military veterans. Generally, they're not allowed to speak about what happened. In Rwandan culture and in military cultures, it's difficult to get people to open up about what happened. But in this film, because I think that I was acquainted with some members of the military, they did come to trust us and what our goal in telling the story was. And they opened up, and some of them gave very emotional and very moving accounts of what they experienced as soldiers experiencing an attack at the same time in the middle of a genocide of their people.
batuvanye mu menyo y'intare igiye kutumira neza neza.
It's hard to do a story about a subject that is so grim, but what makes this movie worthwhile is the stories of sacrifice and courage, and to get to understand why an underdog could beat a much highly better equipped and superior military force.
It was a desperate situation, but these soldiers and the Tutsi of Rwanda already knew about desperation.
The film was shot entirely on location in Rwanda with a Rwandan crew. We used a C300, a 5D, and several other cameras. It was a very small crew, and it took us 4 weeks to make the film.